It was another early morning on our epic 3-week journey through Yellowstone. So far, the trip had been nothing short of spectacular, but on this morning, we were about to experience something truly unforgettable. Finally, we had found them. Wolves. For the first time, we were witnessing these magnificent creatures in their natural habitat here in Yellowstone. Since the wolves were reintroduced in 1995 to Yellowstone, they've played a crucial role in balancing the ecosystem, particularly by controlling the elk population. The wolves are vital to the park's health and have become a symbol of the wild and untamed spirit of Yellowstone. We were both blown away by this moment. It's one thing to know they're out there, and it is another to actually see them. These two wolves were busy filling up on a carcass, likely an elk given the area, although we couldn't be certain. Unfortunately, they were just too far off for us to capture any great photos, but you know what? We didn't mind. We had this moment nearly all to ourselves, with only one other person stopping to watch. It was an incredible, rare, and special encounter, one we will never forget. I cannot wait to come back in the fall when the park is painted with autumn colors. Maybe then I'll finally get my dream shot of a Yellowstone wolf. But for now, the journey continues. Welcome back to another episode with the Backpacking Brothers. It was another beautiful spring day and we were back at it, out in the park looking for wildlife. I gotta tell you, there is nothing like Yellowstone. Its wild beauty is truly unmatched. I mean, this is really our favorite place, hands down. Boy, we had been so lucky and seen quite a few bears, but we were still on the lookout for that dare-to-be-great shot of a grizzly. And then we came around the bend and saw it. A classic Yellowstone bear jam. It turns out this wasn't just any bear. It was a grizzly sow known by locals as Beryl, out foraging with her 2 cubs. Grizzly bears can lose up to 30% of their body weight during hibernation. When they emerge in the spring, they are focused on finding food to quickly replenish the fat reserves they've lost over the winter. This makes the early spring a critical time for bears to find high-calorie food sources like carcasses or early green vegetation. It's always a thrill to see these majestic animals up close, especially a mother with her cubs. Moments like these are why we just keep coming back to Yellowstone. I just had the craziest encounter, closest I've gotten to a grizzly bear, except for maybe when I was in Yellowstone National Park onto the trails and one came up on us. But here in Yellowstone, I was heading down from Mammoth, make my way towards the Madison campground, and I came right upon grizzly bear known as Beryl. She's a female, her and her 2 cubs right on the side of the road. Oh, it was amazing. I didn't get a ton of video because they were so close. I was just snapping pictures, and then the rangers kind of scared the bears off up into the woods. But holy cow, I mean, that's what you come for. You want to see grizzlies here in Yellowstone. And, I mean, these are by far the best shots I've ever gotten of a grizzly. That was amazing. I mean, just high of highs, you know?
As we rolled into a little traffic, we spotted a bison grazing by the pond. And then, right there, a pronghorn. Our luck with pronghorn continued as this handsome male walked right by us and down to the water. In the spring, pronghorn begin their migration, traveling up to 160 miles to find the best feeding grounds and avoid predators. Yellowstone's open grasslands are perfect for them, providing them both the food they need and the open wide spaces where they can use their incredible speed to their advantage. After spending some time with the pronghorn, we were back out on the road. And wouldn't you know it, right around the next turn, it was a bighorn sheep jam. While we're here taking in the view, please take a moment to hit that like and subscribe button. It really helps us out and it ensures that we can continue making more of these vlogs for y'all. Alright, let's get back to the journey. These are the same bighorn sheep that we featured in our last episode. They've actually been hanging out in this area for several days now. Next, we spotted an elk relaxing under a tree. And we had a brief encounter with a black bear that actually produced one of my favorite shots from the trip. The next morning greeted us with another beautiful sunrise as we drove through the park. Spring in Yellowstone is a magical time full of new life. We'd already seen quite a few bear cubs, but we were also hoping to come across some other wildlife newborns. As we were driving, we noticed a small group of people off the side of the road, so we pulled off to check out what was going on. I got out of the car and quickly set up my camera, hoping for something special. It was a coyote den with 4 playful coyote pups. Coyote pups are typically born in early spring, and by May, they're just starting to venture out of the den to explore the world around them. In Yellowstone, the pups usually start emerging from the den around 3 to 4 weeks old, when they begin to play and explore under the watchful eyes of their parents. This playtime is crucial as it helps them develop the skills they'll need to hunt and survive in the wild. We were thrilled to see these coyote pups and get the chance to watch them play. That's the beauty of spring in Yellowstone. It's just flourishing with new life. It had been an epic day for wildlife sightings, and on top of that, Yellowstone was showing off its beautiful spring colors. As we pulled into Tower Roosevelt, we came upon another bear jam. This time, it was a young male grizzly bear, right in the middle of a herd of bison. It was so cool to see this bear surrounded by bison, and the bison seemed very comfortable with the bear's presence. A little further down the road, we came upon some pronghorn. Naturally, we got out and started photographing them. To our surprise, they started sparring right in front of us. Pronghorn sparring is often a display of dominance, particularly in the spring when they establish their hierarchy before the summer breeding season. Even though it's not peak rutting season, these displays help determine which males are stronger and more likely to succeed when the time comes. It had been such an incredible day in the park, and as we were heading back to our hotel in Gardner, we ended up having one last encounter to cap the day off. another grizzly bear. According to the ranger, this was a curious sub-adult male who had been hanging out in the same area for a while now. Boy, we knew May was the best time of the year to see grizzly bears in Yellowstone, but we just couldn't believe our luck with bears. According to the ranger, this grizzly bear had a routine. He would start by the pond, eventually cross the road, foraging and chowing down until he reached a beautiful batch of trees where he'd lay down and take a nap. And sure enough, this bear did just what the ranger said he would. After chowing down, he plopped himself under the shade of some trees and snoozed off. I can't blame him. After all that eating, I'd be tired too. After seeing this bear, we started to head back towards Gardner to call it a night. And wouldn't you know it, that spring weather kicked in. Rain started falling on us, and the forecast for tonight was snow. Snow was exactly what we had been hoping for, knowing that it could set the stage for some truly epic wildlife shots. In our next vlog, we get to see Yellowstone covered in snow in the spring and have some incredible wildlife encounters. So trust me, you don't want to miss out on that next ep. Thanks again for tuning in and watching, and we'll see you on the next one.